Today on the CTV News at 5, a Lethbridge dog attack kills a family pet and leaves the owner scarred and bruised. Plus, why the June flooding could be good for Alberta's economy. And the hurricanes hit the ice for training camp.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. One woman is recovering from bruises and dog bites following a Rottweiler attack yesterday morning. Police say the woman had been walking her two schnauzers when the bigger dogs ran from their North Lethbridge yard and attacked them. One of the schnauzers didn't make it out alive. Jeanette Roche has the story.
Like most pet owners, Darla and Kevin Moline think of their three canines as their four-legged children.
They're my babies.
But one Lethbridge pet owner who hasn't been identified has had to make the difficult decision to put their two Rottweilers to sleep following a vicious attack yesterday morning.
Evidence was that there was two large dogs, both Rottweilers, that had attacked an individual who was walking her two small schnauzers.
The attack happened here along the 1800 block of 23rd Street North. It's not only a busy street, but it was also a busy time of day around 8 o'clock in the morning. Neighbors heard the commotion and came to the woman's aid, but one of her dogs succumbed to its injuries and later died. The 59-year-old woman was taken to hospital with bite injuries to her hand and face after trying to protect her dogs.
The owner of the two dogs in question has agreed to sign both dogs over to the city of Lethbridge.
Before the Rottweilers are put to sleep, Alberta Health Services requested they be quarantined for 2 weeks to determine if they have rabies.
If it was my dog attacking, I definitely would feel horrible, but I know that we have to be well aware of our dog's temperament.
I hate to see any animal get put down. You know, it's usually the owner that determines what the dog is like. Any dog that's raised with nothing but love and affection is gonna. I've never seen a dog have aggression that's raised like that.
When you have an aggressive dog, it's an owner issue, not so much a dog issue as an owner issue. I've met Rottweilers that are absolute marshmallows and responsible dog owners. But unfortunately, there are those who like aggressive dogs and encourage the aggressive behavior and, yeah, make it hard for the rest of us.
Jeanette Roche, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The case is still under investigation to determine whether or not the owner of the Rottweilers will be charged. An American man is facing smuggling charges after border guards seized 8 guns at a southern Alberta border crossing. The Canada Border Services Agency says on Saturday, August the 24th, a South Dakota man tried to cross the Coots point of entry. He was on his way to Alaska. He declared that he had 7 rifles and 1 handgun. Officers pulled him over to confirm, and, well, they found 3 undeclared handguns and 5 undeclared rifles. The man was arrested. Ricky Paul Mackey of South Dakota is charged with smuggling and trying to make false statements and importing an unauthorized firearm. He'll appear in Lethbridge Court October the 7th. A popular Lethbridge DJ and music promoter has passed away. James Nishima, known to many as DJ Buddha, helped bring some of the biggest hip-hop acts to Lethbridge in the last few years, namely Method Man and Redman, Cardinal Offshale, and Maestro Fresh Wes, amongst others. He also hosted Dropping in Science, a weekly radio show in CKXU. A pilot has walked away from a small plane crash in Medicine Hat at the airport. Emergency crews were called to the airport around 11:30 this morning, where they found a single-engine aircraft on the grass next to the runway. The pilot, who was the only person on board, was treated at the scene with undetermined injuries. Okay, David, last weekend I was out in Cypress Hills zip lining. The weather was fabulous. Please tell me that is still going to be the case for this weekend.
I think so, yes. We're going to have some sunny weather through the long weekend in most of the province, actually, not just southern Alberta, but anybody planning a weekend trip, say within a day's drive of the area, will likely encounter some terrific weather. Lots of sunshine, dry weather in the forecast. A little bit of wind coming up, though, tomorrow. Some people starting their long weekend on a Friday may encounter a windy day with some showers in some areas, but don't let that scare you. The rest of the weekend will be fine. Jackie?
We like how that sounds. Thank you, David. Well, the flood back in June has had a massive impact on many people, in particular a financial one. But the province says it's actually going to be good for our Alberta economy.
The quarter report includes an analysis of the economic impact of the flooding. In terms of our GDP, the flood will actually have a positive effect.
Reconstruction efforts to repair and replace damaged property is estimated to add 0.2 percentage points to growth in 2013 and 0.4 percentage points to growth in 2014. Doug Horner has earmarked $704 million to support residents, businesses, and communities affected by the flooding, but only $148 million of that has actually been seen. Horner says the flooding is going to be an estimated $5 billion endeavor. He believes the province is still in a good position to deal with it, but the opposition says the government is dreaming.
Many people have lost their homes, their businesses. It's a financial disaster for the province and for the people of the province. So for them to say that it's somehow advantageous to our bottom line is almost beyond belief. And as is the fact that they're claiming that they have a budget surplus. Look, Finance Minister Horner is a budget contortionist and a twister champion if he thinks that they're in surplus right now.
The finance minister says the flood isn't the only factor affecting the current forecast. The operational revenue in the first 3 months is $9.9 billion higher than expected due to primarily an increase in oil prices and investment income. The opposition says the province needs to change the way it deals with energy income and stop spending more only when prices are high.
When the price of oil drops, we shouldn't have to lay off teachers and nurses. And I think we can aim higher. And that's going to be one of our key focuses in the upcoming fall session of the legislature.
No one knows how long it's going to take the province to recover from the flooding, but any money coming from the federal government for the recovery could take years to be delivered. Another candidate will be vying for your vote come Election Day. Small business owner Jeff Wall made his intentions known this morning in the Lethbridge downtown core to run for city council. Wall believes in making responsible, well-researched decisions that can prepare the city for the future. With a background in civil engineering and leadership in not-for-profit organizations, Wall believes in investing in what can make Lethbridge better while not overspending.
I believe that we need to be making long-term decisions that meet the immediate needs with proper research and be responsible about those decisions. And I say responsible spending. As individuals, we need to be living within our means. As a business owner, we have to operate within our means. I believe as a city, we need to operate within our means.
Small business owner Fiona Doherty also announced that she's going to be running for Lethbridge City Council. That makes 12 people vying for council seats in the October 21st election. The Harper government is announcing tougher laws for child sex offenses. Legislation will be introduced this fall with harsher penalties for people who commit sex crimes against children. Among the changes, ensuring sentencing takes into account offenses against multiple children. Those pedophiles would serve consecutive sentences for each child they victimize. The law would also increase both minimum and maximum penalties for child predators. Justice Minister and new dad Peter MacKay says for him this time it's personal.
There are few things that I can imagine as a new father that are more offensive or contrary to humanity than to harm our most vulnerable citizens, our children. Crimes against the innocent cry out for a firm response. The devastation that these criminals cause in the lives of children and their families merits a strict sentence.
The law would also force the spouse of a person charged with child pornography to testify in courts. Health officials are reminding Southern Albertans about the potential danger of rabies after a bat tested positive for the disease in Lethbridge. It's the first time a rabies-infected bat has been found in Lethbridge in quite some time. Health officials say it's a good reminder that a number of wild mammals may carry the disease, including raccoons, coyotes, foxes, and skunks. Rabies is a viral disease that attacks the central nervous system of warm-blooded animals, including humans, and it can be fatal.
The prevention, if you do get bitten by a wild animal, is wash with soap and water. Secondly, you may need to see a physician. And thirdly, connect with public health. Public health will assess and do a risk assessment with the medical officer of health on call, which is often myself. And then we assess, was there a risk of rabies exposure?
Now, in this particular case, a person was bitten by a bat that was fighting with a cat. The person tried to intervene, and that's when the bat struck. May not look like it today, but 24 hours ago, a major dust storm blew through Fort Macleod as part of a sci-fi movie being filmed there. Town workers have been busy cleaning up Main Street today after it was the set for Matthew McConaughey's new movie Interstellar on Wednesday. The street was closed for the afternoon as Hollywood invaded the town of 3,000. Now the town is back to normal, and residents say it was exciting to see what goes into making a multi-million-dollar movie.
It was very dirty, dust blowing everywhere. You could see it from 2 blocks away. I came down with a couple of friends to try to see Matthew McConaughey, and it was cool. There was a lot of extras walking around in kind of old, dirty clothing.
It was just busy, and yeah, that was about it.
Well, I think it's quite something. Oh yeah, that would be good for town. It's quite a nice town.
There was huge trucks and trailers everywhere for the stars, and just people everywhere gathering, trying to see what was going on.
And of course, the big star of Interstellar is Matthew McConaughey, who's been seen around southern Alberta, including at Drumheller's Tyrrell Museum. Some of the other big names in the movie include John Lithgow, Jessica Chastain, and Topher Grace. This was the 3rd time Fort Macleod has been used in a Hollywood movie in recent history. The first 2 were Passchendaele and, of course, Brokeback Mountain. One of our own has been inducted into the Palliser Wall of Fame in Vulcan. Terry Vogt has been with CTV for the past 28 years and has been reporting in southern Alberta for all that time. Terry attended the Palliser School in Picture Butte and was honored today for all of his volunteer work and community involvement. Awards were given to past students to celebrate their outstanding achievements, and other award winners here include Dr. Henry Jansen, whose work includes measuring changes in soil, and Dr. Marla Freitag. Congratulations. Time now for a look at the markets. Then David's back with your long weekend forecast.